I suppose the major stimulus was the alarming number of spinal cord injuries in young people from football and also from the wearing of lap seat belts. And there was no data, but we were on the receiving end, and the hospitals were totally ill-equipped to look after their long-term care. So the first thing we had to do was to get some data, and we did those studies, the first studies of their type.
In both rugby league and rugby union, 68% of injuries were due to packing, 23 spinal injuries, 23 preventable disasters.
What we showed conclusively that it was the impact at collision of the front rows that caused all the damage. The work that we did led to the changes in rules for players under 19 years of age. And when those were introduced, there's never been a serious spinal cord injury in schoolboy football. The same thing was with lap seat belts. The injuries were horrendous, with abdominal and spinal injuries. And we spoke out very strongly in the media, and this was picked up, and the legislation was changed.
Jessica has a severe spinal condition. Each year, 50 children just like Jessie become wheelchair-bound and spend far too long in hospital simply because no rehabilitation facility exists. Spinecare Village, a unique concept in aftercare, will change all that. Here, children will rehabilitate in a home-like atmosphere with their parents. Your donation is urgently needed to make the dream a reality sooner.
Welcome to Spinecare Village, Australia's first and only rehabilitation facility for physically disabled children and adolescents. Spinecare Village provides a nurturing environment for children suffering from spinal injuries, diseases and disorders, as well as conditions such as spina bifida, cerebral palsy, juvenile arthritis and muscular dystrophy. As all of our success stories prove, rehabilitation therapy at Spinecare Village equals the best offered by any hospital in the country. Our paediatric and occupational therapists design programs to ensure the rehabilitation process is as fast and effective as possible. The need for a place where patients and their families could get on the road to recovery and get on with life.
When I was about 11 months old, I was in a car accident in Darwin, which resulted in my disability, paraplegia. The hospital there hadn't had much experience with kids having so young a spinal cord injury. They couldn't properly treat it. They didn't know what services to provide, etc. So I had to come to Sydney and get treatment at the Children's Hospital at Westmead. But we didn't have anywhere to stay, obviously, and it would have been really expensive to be renting places for such a long period of time. So that's how we came to get accommodation at the Spinecare Village. They had a pool where I used to do hydrotherapy when I was really young, and it was really awesome because there were people there that taught me how to swim, even though I had my disability. And I know that if I hadn't have been able to learn how to swim there, I probably would never have been able to learn, and swimming has been one of my favourite things in my life. Getting all the help at Spinecare was really good because that set me up to have the confidence to go and get help at Northcott, which provided me with lots and lots of services. The PSOS team helped me with physiotherapy, with modifications to our house, and then social work, counselling, anything that I needed. And then getting all those wonderful services from Northcott gave me the confidence to want to apply for the client ambassador so that I could give something back to Northcott. And doing that just gave me more confidence. And so now I think I'm in a good place to do really well at uni doing media and law.
When the Spine Care Village closed, Northcott's Paediatric Spinal Outreach Service picked up or came into being to take on the work of the Spine Care Village because it fits with the sort of ethos of Northcott. Northcott is about giving young people with disabilities, in this case spinal cord injury and disease, the opportunity to become the best they can be, to be a full part of society. And we work with those people in the community. Today we continue that work of the Spine Care Foundation as a department of Northcott, but a separate entity in its own right. And Spine Care has three major objectives. One is about the work of the Paediatric Spinal Outreach Service, which is funded by New South Wales Health, Northcott and the Spine Care Foundation, and works with all of the young people across New South Wales who have spinal cord injury and disease to help them move back into the community and live their lives as best they can. The second aim of the Spine Care Foundation is research, and that's looking at prevention and treatment of spinal cord injuries and disease in children and young people. And the third aim of the Spine Care Foundation is education, and education of the community and also education of young people with spinal cord injury and disease through the provision of scholarships.
We first connected with Spine Care through a lady here at Northcott called Elizabeth Mead, providing the scholarships for people. And she found out that I was interested in attending university and thought it was a good idea to apply for extra funding to go to university. I seriously would have considered maybe not attending university just simply because of the cost with travelling, because I travel all the way out to Bankstown and I'm a local here at Parramatta. Growing up, I myself had a social worker. I've seen firsthand what a social worker does and like what benefit it has to their particular client as well as family, because I got a lot of mates who have physical disabilities, you know, and I've seen a lot of them go through struggle and not get help the same way I've got help. You know, instead of sitting and whinging, you may as well get in and do it to aim higher than what I thought I could have achieved previously. And without Spine Care and their assistance to me, it would have been a lot harder road to go.
One of the aspects that the new funding or the recurrent funding allowed for was for the kids who had diseases of their spinal cord like tumours or transverse myelitis were actually able to access the multidisciplinary team that the Spine Care Foundation supported. So prior to that it was only the traumatic injuries that were really targeted for services. So this meant a much broader group of kids could actually get the services they needed in the community. The case starts as an inpatient at the Children's Hospital Westmead with a referral to the rehab department, and then as part of their inpatient rehabilitation management, the outreach team become involved for the transition to home and then the transition to school. And then there's an ongoing collaboration between the spinal outreach team and the hospital spinal service through their school life and school years until school leaving.
We're a multidisciplinary team and provide a community-based service that is quite holistic, and we have both direct and consultative therapies and rehab support that we provide. We also provide a lot of support around ongoing adjustment to injury. There are a lot of changes obviously related to an injury. Then we do a lot of work in maximising the client's independence, but also we come up with a lot of creative ways with the families about how to engage, I guess, in all areas of community life. We work very individually with the family, and everyone is different in their needs. So the first thing that we try and do is we want to find out what were some of the pre-injury interests, what are motivating factors now. So despite all the change that's happened, what are those factors that you are in control of and that you are motivated by that we can work with?
Research and collaborative research, whether it be Australia-wide or statewide or international, would be a huge step forward. Being able to meet with all of the other clinicians who deal with paediatric spinal cord injury in Australia is a great opportunity of this conference, and then being able to sort of talk about and plan and think about some of the new initiatives and treatments that might be possible by pooling together our resources, because it's a rare condition, but it's an ongoing sort of condition that we'll continue to see.